In this video, we will be looking at how to create a maintenance task and send the work order to a tradesperson. We can open a new maintenance task in several ways, but the quickest and easiest way from any Chintaro screen is to click the Add Maintenance Task button in the toolbar. This will open up an empty maintenance task screen where we can start entering information. If we close this one for a moment, we can go back to the home screen and look at another way to open a new maintenance task. Click on Property Maintenance in the main menu, then click Manage Property Maintenance, which opens up our maintenance search screen. We can click the Add Task button at the top of the screen here and a new maintenance task screen appears. When we're creating a new maintenance task, the first thing we need to do is select the property that requires the maintenance. We can't add anything else until the property has been selected, and all fields except the property name are disabled until we select a property. In this example, the air conditioner at 16 Postcard Place requires maintenance, so we'll select 16 Postcard Place from this list, and once we have selected the property, all other fields become active. The next field we select is the inventory item, and this is a drop-down list. In Chintaro, every maintenance task must be linked to an inventory item in a property. Some organisations choose to keep detailed records of their inventory items by itemising all of their assets within their properties, and others don't. If we don't keep a detailed inventory of our properties, we still need to have at least one general inventory item, otherwise we can't create a maintenance task on a property. If we do have a detailed inventory of our items, we can select the inventory items that require maintenance. The inventory item defaults to General. As we select an air conditioner as the inventory item, we see a number of fields on the left have been pre-populated because we've set these fields to default at the time we created the inventory item. The next field is the maintenance type, and if we drop the list down, we see a number of different types. The maintenance type is very important. This is the way we group our maintenance. It shows on our home screen and in all of our maintenance reporting. So we want to make sure that we've selected a maintenance type for all maintenance tasks. Maintenance types can be customised by our organisation, but generally, when we're requesting maintenance to get something fixed, we'll select Responsive Maintenance. Next, we select the location of the item to be repaired, and we're requiring maintenance of an air conditioner. As there is only one air conditioner at this property, and it is in the lounge room, this has already been pre-populated. If we run a rooming house where a single property has multiple rooms with multiple tenancies, we may wish to choose which room this item relates to. If we don't run that sort of property, we won't use the room field. This isn't a rooming house, so we'll leave this blank for this maintenance task. The next two fields of item type and item group are ways to group this maintenance task, mainly for reporting purposes. Item type is the type of item that we're maintaining, and we can see that air conditioning has already been pre-populated. Item group is a broader category of items that the air conditioner belongs to, which in this case is appliance. These drop-down lists, like all drop-down lists in Chintaro, are completely customisable through system maintenance and reference tables. The works type is another way to classify maintenance tasks, and this is usually used in forecast maintenance, but we can also use it to specify the type of work that needs to be done to the air conditioner. We want to replace the air conditioner, so we select Replace from the drop-down list. The trade type we'll select as air conditioning, and when we drop this list down, we see only tradespeople who have air conditioning set as the trade type. We'll select air supply from this drop-down list, and we notice that the email address of our contact from air supply appears here. This is the email address to which we'll send the work order, and we can check any details of that tradesperson by clicking on the Tradesperson Details button here. Just below this email address, we have a field for email CC, and this is where we can enter an email address of someone else to be included if we email the work order to a tradesperson. Next, we select an urgency for the maintenance required. If we drop this list down, we see that we have several levels of urgency, and each of these relate to a number of days the tradesperson has to resolve the maintenance issue. When we select a level of urgency and we move over to the right-hand side of the screen, we see the scheduled completion date will change. Depending on the way that our organisation controls the expected turnarounds or key performance indicators, this field can be programmed by the urgent box. Like all drop-down lists in Chintaro, these are customisable through system maintenance and reference tables through the urgency reference table. Moving back to the left, the next field is Created By, and this will default to the username of the person who has logged into Chintaro to create this maintenance task. Down the bottom of this screen, we can see the date entered, date last changed, and last updated by. These will also show our Chintaro username. We can change the name of the Created By field if we're creating this work order for someone else, and I'm creating this for Damien, so we'll enter his name in this field here. The housing worker will be the property manager of this property, and we see that Kate is the manager of 16 Postcard Place. Again, if we want to change the housing worker here, we can take out these details and type a different name in this field. The next thing we come to is a tick box that asks if we have the tenant's permission to get the job done, and if this is the case, we tick the box. Similarly, there's a box here for tenant's damage, and if we tick this box, we can track which jobs are being caused by damage from our tenants. This might be something that we track over time to see how much tenant damage is costing us, or trends in properties. We can select the damage type, then later, we'll tick this box once the tenant has been charged for the damage and enter the corresponding invoice number here. The next section shows us the tenant's name and phone number, and this has defaulted to Doris Garrett. When we email or print our work order, we may want the tradesperson to contact our tenant directly, or we may want the tradesperson to contact our office, which will depend on the nature of our business. But if we do want the tenant's details on the work order, we leave these details here. If we want to record another name of a tenant that can be contacted about this job, we can click Copy Tenant Details and double-click on all of those tenants we want to include on the work order. If we want the tradesperson to contact our office, we remove the tenant's name and phone numbers and enter our office details or the property manager's details in these fields. Next is tenant availability, and if we're organising tradespeople to contact our tenants directly, we might want to tell them when our tenant is available. We may not know this, and in this case we leave this blank, but if we do want to specify something such as when our tenant is home, we can enter it here. We'll enter available after 3 p.m. The instructions panels can be found in the middle of the screen, and this is the most important section as this will tell our tradesperson the nature of the work required to complete the maintenance task. We're going to say something brief like air conditioner is old and leaking, needs to be replaced, which is a very basic example, but we can make this as detailed as we would like. If we want to add a new line, we need to hold down our Control key and press Enter. Below this, we have the access instructions, and these are instructions we give to the tradesperson about accessing the property. For this property, the tradesperson can pick up the keys from the office, so we'll enter that in now. Next is the tradesperson alerts and instructions, and this is where we can advise our tradesperson about potential dangers with the property or tenants. To the right of this, we have the property alerts and the client alerts that have come through from the client and property records. But these alerts won't show on the work order because there may be sensitive information in these alerts that the trade person doesn't need to know about. But if there is something we need to tell the tradesperson about the client or the property, we need to type it into this box here. For this property, we'll type in beware of the dog and attend with 2 tradespeople. Take precautions for asbestos. Before we create this work order and send it off, we should check that the dates on the right-hand side are correct. We have a reported date, a scheduled date, and an actual start date, and like all dates in Chintaro, they will default to today. Sometimes you'll be creating a task for a date in the past, and if this is the case, change the dates as required in these fields or remove them completely if they don't apply yet, such as actual start date. Below this, we have the order number or reference for the job, and this can be set to begin at any number in system maintenance. The number below this is the tradesperson's or the subcontractor's order number, and this is where we can enter the tradesperson's order number if they have one. This might apply if we're dealing with a government maintenance organisation who give us a reference number. Before we send this off to our tradesperson, we can enter the estimated cost of the job, and we do this by clicking Completion Details, going down to Costs, and we'll enter $1,000 in this section. When we enter figures in these fields, they will include GST. Back to task details. When we're happy with the details we've entered, we go to the bottom left of the screen to the Action section. We have 3 options here. We can open what we've entered as a Word document, which allows us to look at it, type anything else we want to into it, save it, or print it. It could also be sent directly to the tradesperson as an email, or we can send it straight to the printer using the print function. When we have email selected, we click Send Work Order To, and it will go out through our Outlook and appear in our Send Items box. This is usually what will happen, but in this case we want to have a look at it first, so we'll select New Word Document and click Send Work Order To. Microsoft Word will open and a new document has opened up with the information we entered populating our work order template. The standard Chintaro work order is separated into 3 sections. First we have the property details, the access section, and the works requested or instructions for the job. We can edit this at any time, and we'll look at this in a later video. Back in our maintenance task screen, in the Action section here, we also have a box that says Quotation. If we want to get a quotation for a job before we send the work order, we tick this quotation box here. The button here changes to Send Quote Request To, and when we click it, Microsoft Word opens up with a different template, this time for a request for. Let's close this and go back to Chintaro. Finally, in the Action section, we have a field here for status. This is where we can select the status of where the job is at, and we have a few options set up in here as a default, such as completed, created, and in progress. These don't have any process workflow component to them, but we can allocate a status to a job and we can create exports to see the status of jobs. We'll leave this job status as in progress. To exit this screen, we can click Exit here or the Home button. We'll look at how to close our job off once it's been completed in a later video.